Okay, from the still shots, you will see the damage that was done to this vehicle before we started the work on it. This right here that supports the bump, the rebar connects to here, was pushed over to the left side of the car. So we had to cut these pieces out and purchase new pieces from the dealership. Okay, these pieces come in two pieces. This is the inner portion, and the outside, right here, fits up in here. Okay, and then it is welded on. Just get yourself some vice grips and grab over here, pinch this together, grab down the bottom, pinch it, and weld along this seam. Right? You can see over here on this side, where this piece has been welded onto the main frame. All right, this, you can buy a new piece, one of these, but I didn't think it was necessary to spend that money. Just, you can get a drill and drill out the welds wherever they're tack welded. It was pretty tough on this, so I had to use the air chisel also to separate it after drilling. Now, once I put everything together, I can position this and tack it in place and remove the radiator support and all of that again to finish the weld. All right, this piece is tacked in place, bolted on the bottom in here, and so is this. It's tacked in place and bolted on the bottom. This is still unattached. Once I put the radiator support and radiator assembly in, then I'll put the rebar, reinforcement bar in its place, snug up the bolts. After that, put the bumper cover on the headlights and the bumper cover. Make sure everything is properly aligned before I go to finish the welding process. Okay, now I'm gonna start setting things in place. This is the radiator support. It's all one piece. And here is the radiator, the condenser, and the dryer comes at one unit. This car is a 2013 Infiniti G37X, all-wheel drive. So I have already assembled the radiator and the radiator support. Now I'm going to place it on. You have to put that in place before you put the bumper cover, before you put the rebar on. Now the lines for the AC is a little problematic. I'm not going to bother to put them in place right now. So I would just get them out the way as I work. And then when I do the final assembly, then I'll position them. This will require a little wiggling. Since these pieces here are not welded in place, they will be getting in your way. So you have to just figure out how to work around that. Okay, this end is in. I'm gonna place a screw up here to keep it from sliding out. Get the light so I can see what I'm doing. You don't have to tighten it up, just put it in the hole so the assembly won't slide out of place. Now we're going to work on the other side. When you're doing this, be careful with this piece right here because it's kind of flimsy. Okay, there's no support No real good support for it right now. Once this is in place, I will do the same thing and put a screw up top. Yeah, working it with not good light here. Just a couple of turns to hold it in place. Okay. Now I'm down bottom. Let me get my chair and put a couple of screws in down here also. Using the punch as a guide to line the holes up. Got one screw in here. This finger tight, and I'll put one up top. Yeah, once you get one in, check all your holes and make sure they're lined up. This one is not going in. Okay. Now we'll come over this side and do the same thing over here. We need the floor mount light. Okay, one in there. And one up here, hopefully. Okay. So we got 3 in, one here, and one here. Now we can put on the rebar. This side, get the light and show you. One side is slotted, so you can be able to adjust it and get this thing on. And the other side holes are just simply round. Okay, we'll put this side on first and put a couple of nuts in there to hold it in place. Okay, now that I have this side attached with the nuts loose, I can just bring this one over, get it in place, and then put 2 nuts on there, just snug them up. And then we'll move to the next stage by putting the stiffener on I've heard that piece called by so many names. Let me bring it over. I've heard this called the buffer, stiffener, foam rubber, whatever. Okay, but this piece goes between the reinforcement bar and the bumper cover. If you don't have this, it's just going to be air between there, and if somebody tap you, that bumper cover just going to cave in. Okay? So I'm going to put those two nuts on this side and then go to the next step. Okay, I'm about to put the fender on. The fender, there's a screw up in here. Just loosen that screw, and the fender have a tab that you can just slide underneath the head of that screw behind the washer, and that will hold it up there in place. There are also two screws, two places down here to attach the fender, but we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to slide it up in there to keep it stable, and put one screw in right here on one of the tabs on the fender to hold the fender in place. And then we'll slide the headlight on. Okay, we're going to slide the fender in that little tab I was talking about. All right, lift it in, lift it up over the other ones here. Fender is in place. It's not tight yet, but it is in place. Now, right here is a little tab. See this right here? We're going to connect that and put a screw in right here to hold it in place. Okay? Okay, now we're going to slide the headlight in place. There's a little tab on the headlight that's supposed to fit in a hole in the fender. Okay, with this up in there like that now, we just stick a screw. That's not the proper thing for this to hold this in place, but I'll put this in here so this headlight don't fall out. These things are very expensive. You can pay anywhere from $550 up to $1,000 for one of these. I don't have the brackets on yet. There are brackets that go underneath the fender on the edge here, and one on the other side too that will lock in the ends of the bumper cover. This end fits nicely over here. I can slide this in here like that. Okay. Make sure you have a pretty nice fit over here too. Now at this point, you should go ahead and bolt down everything and make sure its lines are nice and smooth. Close the hood down, make sure the lines all the way around is even all the way around. If it's not, you can adjust. Like the fender, they move very easily. If you pull or push, you can bend the little tabs on the inside to make that perfect alignment on both sides. All right? But after this now, I'm going to take these things off because it's aligned pretty good. All right, I'm going to take them back off, then I will finish my welding job on a support frame.